Can we also send out the ping in the Telegram announcements? So weekly
got
thing.
that.
Yeah, just send something nice to tell them to join, even just the YouTube side. In the meantime, let me check out YouTube. Make sure it's running. Okay, YouTube is live. It's good. Check out my channel. Yep, live here. It's good. Okay. Pop out the chat so I can see you guys. Hello, people from YouTube. What's up? And as usual, of course, hello, TikTok. I mean, not TikTok. Our BaconDAO Discord. Welcome. We're just gonna wait a second till everyone gets pinged and a couple more people to roll in here, and then we'll start according to schedule. And now that we also have the Telegram channel, let me just put a couple of nice messages here. We will be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin dominance analysis. What else do we do? BSC, news, Polkadot, news, layer 2, news, BaconDAO updates, Q&A.
Let me know when you're ready and I'll play us in.
Yep. I'll probably only link the YouTube here just so that people can just click into it and they see it's a. You see in the YouTube live there in the description. There's the Discord. Probably it's better. Yeah, I'm definitely ready. Are you gonna play a intro music or?
Yeah, right now.
Sure. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, as soon as it starts to fade, go off.
I actually cannot hear the rhythm bot. Oh, actually, I turned it down. Yeah, hold on.
No worries.
I muted the rhythm bot for me since a while ago. Let me turn that up. Oh, this is a nice beat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, checking events chat, just greeting everyone. Yeah, so as usual, everyone, we're gonna wait till music stops and everyone to roll in. Seeing a couple of familiar faces on YouTube side. This is your music, that's cool. Okay, so that's the end of the music. I'll bring back the stream beats. Welcome everyone to another episode of the BaconDAO live stream, BaconDAO live call, where we do a Sunday community call every Sunday here in the BaconDAO Discord, as well as across all of our socials. Mainly, focusing on Discord because that's our core DAO, the core member audience. And also this is streamed live on YouTube and will be recorded as well. And so today's agenda, as usual, we have the following. So we have Crypto 101, led by Hassan and Josue. We have the latest news and opportunities in BSC land, led by Viper. In Polkadot, which will be gone over by myself today in place of Mahi. We have low cap and layer 2 discussion and news with some Bitcoin dominance discussion as well, led by Luke, as well as some general Bitcoin and Ethereum and some altcoin TA analysis by Wonka. And then also, I guess, by myself. And after that, in the end, we'll have a bit of Q&A as well as BaconDAO updates for our own project. So without further ado, let's get started. Just going through the schedule again, let me grab the slides as usual. We have Crypto 101 first. So Hassan, let's see what's happening in Crypto 101 this week.
Yeah, hey everyone. Hope you all are having a great day. This previous week at Crypto 101, we talked about NFTs, right? And NFT stands for non-fungible token, right? And fungibility is the ability to be replaced by another identical item. Something like Bitcoin is fungible, as all Bitcoins are equivalent to each other. If a Bitcoin was mined in block 1000, or a single Bitcoin was mined in block 500,000, at the end of the day, they're equal in value. They can easily be replaced by one another. But something like the Mona Lisa or land isn't fungible. These items can't be replaced with another identical item. They're unique. So essentially, non-fungible tokens, or more commonly known as NFTs, are just a unique cryptographic token on the blockchain.
Yep.
NFTs can be digital collectibles such as domain names, digital art, virtual real estate, or in-game items, but they can also be tokenized real-world assets, such as buildings or physical paintings. They also have many different benefits. The tradability of NFTs make them really easy to buy and sell. Something like a Twitter handle is a form of a unique digital collectible, but something like that's really hard to trade. It's really difficult. Like, where do you even trade that, right? Do you trade on eBay, or you have no clue, where are you supposed to trade that? But if a Twitter handle was made into an NFT, it's really easy to trade on many different platforms, because you can easily transfer the digital collectible, and in this case, that's the Twitter handle, and you can easily trade that on many different platforms. And with that easy tradability comes increase in liquidity, and more people are able to buy and sell an item. NFTs are also decentralized, which gives users custodies over their assets, right? Many gamers, you guys have probably heard, have gotten their account taken away for so-and-so reason. And all their digital collectibles in that account was gone forever. So if that Minecraft pickaxe or the Fortnite skin was an NFT, that asset's in your custody, so it can't be taken away from you. Because you own those keys and you own that NFT of that asset. Also, the programmability of NFTs give them a lot of benefits, right? Many different NFTs today have many different mechanics, such as crafting, and the programmability of NFTs go ahead and give NFTs so many different directions to grow and prosper, with the sky only being the limit. Yeah, so tradability, liquidity, decentralization are just a few of the benefits. Many platforms in the NFT world are growing a lot.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at Engine, they're a blockchain-based gaming platform, and they use NFTs as digital collectibles in many different video games. Unstoppable Domains, those guys have domains as NFTs. MLB Crypto Baseball, you can trade MLB cards as an NFTs, and something like Genesis Shards, they have their pre-IDOs as NFTs as well. And today I think BaconDAO's pre-IDOing on Gen Shards, so it's also pretty interesting. And it's been getting a lot of adoption lately. Even meme.com, that Instagram meme page that everyone always, those guys went ahead and they had the first ever Polygon IDO on Tuesday on Pokestarter. And so it looks like it's slowly growing again at NFTs. I mean, we might see the hype jump a bit more soon, but right now, NFTs, they do have a future, from what I believe and what many people believe. We just don't know when that hype's gonna, run up again. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me with Crypto 101.
Awesome. I think NFTs are still kind of in the early stages of its hype cycle. It's a huge buzzword, just like when DeFi was, first introduced, and then people know what NFTs are. They know roughly, the typical use cases that are simple to see, like, oh, I can tokenize this, tokenize in-game items, etc. But we're still yet to see, I think, actually, I think virtual real estate and maybe like tokenized social media accounts are some good examples of things that are only enabled by NFT and not by just typical online digital marketplaces. So those are kind of use cases that we need to see until then. I don't think NFTs will be truly so mainstream, but it's certainly, its technology is more improving itself. So and I like that point of social media accounts as NFTs that you brought up, because there's Bondly is doing that so ever since they launched. That was their original vision, and honestly, that was quite a unique angle that they went for. I hope they bring that back a bit more. If you were truly to tokenize some big TikTok accounts with like a really good engagement and really focused niche, those could be really worth a lot of money if they were brand focused instead of a personal account that makes it tradable to other people. Then and maybe you can tokenize ownership there, something like what we're doing with BaconDAO with the Bacon token, and you can vote on what kind of videos you want to see. So stuff like that could be really interesting, and it enables everyone to trade it. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, and I believe that is let me just check on the agenda again. So next up we have BSC news and digest for the week, led by our contributor Viper. What's up, Viper?
What's going on? As always, let's start with the flash loan attacks of the week. We have Ketchup, YBear, Garuda, Locum, Piggy. A lot of these were Panther Swap forks. So, if you're in a project long term and you know where they're forked, you got to make sure that they fixed the things that were ever wrong with it. Switching to the Binance announcements, as I keep mentioning each week, they're really centered toward the NFT news and promotions.
Yeah.
They had exclusive Dylan Cole art NFT drop on BSC, and then May Musk NFT on Bakery Swap. I believe that was yesterday. And if you don't know who May Musk is, it's the mother of Elon Musk, your favorite. Binamon, it was a gem I announced a couple weeks ago. They announced an NFT card battle tournament for $2,500. So they have like these NFT cards that are essentially monsters, but they have, I guess, different values for their strengths and stuff. So that's pretty unique. Forbelt, they were flash loan attacked prior, and so they finally announced the compensation plan. And Auto Farm announced that they'll be supporting Belt Finance's compensation plan. They're going to essentially come out with a Forbelt / R-Belt vault. And then, of course, the affected users will be airdropped our Forbelt token. 2 days ago it was. Venus announced an airdrop for 1 Venus NFT per 10 XVS owned. So if you were holding the XVS token a while ago when they did the airdrop, they gave it, if you just held one, I forgot the ratio, but they gave out some NFTs, so that's kind of cool. DuckDAO, although I'm really not a fan of them anymore, their token DDIM is really dying. It really sucks. But they announced, of course, a couple days ago, in order to promote their token and prevent it from going to the single-digit numbers. Yeah, for those of who are interested in upgrading to the next tier, they promise a bonus allocation, which is like 1.5x of whatever allocation is offered, individual cap, for the next upcoming 3 pre-sale projects. So if it's $1,000, you can get $1,500 individual cap. So hopefully they have good projects in the future. Walt Finance did a 2 million burn of WEX, which is about 120K worth. I don't really suggest buying their token for those of you who bought WEX. My general rule of thumb is if you keep hearing about a token on TikTok, you've reached the euphoria stage, dump it, especially in this market. But that's just in my experience. Instead, they have cool vaults you can kind of stake in. So that's what I've been doing, especially with on Polygon. They have vaults on Adamant Finance and I'm getting around 150% APY on just stable coins. So that's kind of cool. Ape Swap, they continue to gain many more partnerships. They also announced a couple days ago they're introducing a Polygon bridge, or I guess it is introduced already. They had another NFT release. They call it non-fungible ape, the NFA for them.
Oh,
and they burn,
okay.
Yeah, and they burned another 300K of banana coin. As you guys know, I do not like PCS clones. They bring nothing to the table. They're nothing special. But ApeSwap has been doing pretty good with partnerships, at least. Haven't really been tracking their price of banana coin, but it's nice to see that they're always active. Pancake Bunny, they added a new stable coin vault, but pretty trash APYs, so nothing special there. Bakery Swap, they added a crypto doggies. It's kind of like a NFT and gaming combination, but I mean, it's really poorly made in my opinion, so nothing special there either. Pancake Swap burned another $93 million with the cake. As you guys know, there's no true cap. There's no total tokens. They're always minted, but that's why they do the burns every day or every other day. For those of you BSC veterans who used to know what Kebab Swap was, I guess they're now partnering with Astronauts, so that's kind of cool. BSC Pad partnered with InvestX. BSC Launch, just another launch pad out there. They announced 8 IDOs: B Farm, B NFT, B Swap, Polka Fantasy, Zion, Swapberry, Safe Launch, and IMM Global. And lastly, last week we went over in our educational call a huge catastrophe that happened with Iron Finance.
Yeah.
I went really in depth on how it happened, what the algorithm was like, red flags and stuff. But then I also did the second half of that, explaining what Polygon was, how to get on there, what good yields you can get on certain farms. So that was really fun. And thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Father's Day, and have a good day.
Thanks for the comprehensive update across BSC land. As always, it's very comprehensive. It covers so many things, and just thanks in general, Viper. I find the non-fungible ape name kind of interesting because I saw this. There was this thing before called non-fungible PayPay. And I aped into it a little bit, but they actually end up getting sued or potentially threatened with legal action by the apparently like IP owner of the PayPays, the original PayPay meme, like the brand, and then it turned pretty bad, but they refunded everyone and kind of settled there. But I don't know, apes probably not because it's just kind of animal. So anyways, Iron Finance, now that that's over, as usual, I think we also discussed this last week on the call, with the super high APYs, you just got to put it in perspective. It's not going to last like a year, that kind of APY. It's in my opinion, when I was looking at it, it was, say 6,000 or 20,000% APY. Just put that in month terms, right? That's I think it was like 50% or 30 to 50% per month daily compounded, which then puts it really into perspective. Okay, how much am I willing to put into a thing that could literally go to zero in a month for potentially 30-50% gain? If you look at it like that, then all of a sudden it puts your perspective in check and controls your FOMO a bit. So if you have put like a couple K in there, you made a couple K back and you lost the initial, which is fine. You didn't lose all the initial, but you lost a bit of the iron that you could have, the Titan that you could have redeemed. But regardless, with basically what I'm trying to say is with super high APYs, see through for what it is, right? The super high APYs are not going to last forever. So you're technically not missing out on much. It's much shorter time frame. So maybe think about how long you're willing to put it in. for the super high APY and how much you're willing to lose. Obviously, there's always a good balance, right? Even for the super risky ones, you just put a small amount in if you really want to, and then if it end up being really bad, you still don't lose all your money. So just a word of caution there, and also advice. Okay, so next up we have updates in the Polkadot land, which is the research is done by Mahi, but he's not here to present today, so I'll be taking over the presentation. So I'll just go through each of these links and try to digest the specific projects that's being discussed here. So first up, we have Polka Assembly.io, first slot auction on Kusama network. Right. So obviously the biggest news currently happening for Kusama and later Polkadot is the Kusama parachain auctions, and with that the crowd loans by all kinds of main parachain competitors to kind of bid for the first slots. And so looks like the first slot auction on Kusama is underway. We had a link for the first dates. Yeah, looks like this is the first slot auction. It's very cool. So we are definitely in motion, and I think it was only first one, and then the second one was like a couple days, and then the third slot was like a week after, if I remember correctly, for the schedule. But yeah, it's well underway. Live parachain auction watch. Okay, this is probably a better place to follow the live auctions. Okay, so what is this? So right, so auction number 1 for the first parachain slot out of 100, but not all of them are going to be in auction this time, is live right now, and there are 12 crowd loans by these projects that are trying to be the first slot. You see the so here are the crowd loan kind of leaders, right? So how much they fundraise, and you see Karura or Akala is the main project. Karura is their KSM sister chain, and you see they have raised $143 million, well in lead. So it's looking like most likely Karura will be the first winner. Yep. And they have placed a bid of 400k KSM there, and you see nobody else was competing, so that they know they can't win. Yeah, so definitely well underway. Really good to see that it's finally playing out, the parachain auctions for Kusama. Going on to the next link, this is also another live bid watch, in case I guess anyone else bids in the next day and a half for the first slot, trying to beat Karura. Even Moon River and Bifrost, Shiden, these guys don't have enough money to bid for the first slot. So yeah, nothing to see here. It's just kind of what we expected. Karura being the strongest project in terms of how much they've gathered through crowd loans. Also, Coinbase has listed DOT. In nowadays, new Coinbase listings, they don't really pump as much, especially for large projects like in market cap, like those of DOT. Let's go on CoinGecko. Okay, this is kind of slow, but here, CoinGecko. I'll just bring up the DOT chart really quick to see if there's any sort of movement there, but I highly doubt it, because most of the market liquidity right now is driven by Bitcoin and how it's doing. So individual pieces of news pertaining to any individual altcoins are not moving the market as much. And also, like as Kusama parachain auctions and crowd loans are happening, there's clearly a lot of buy demand for KSM, but even for the price of KSM, it hasn't been performing the best whenever Bitcoin is seeing as kind of weak. So you see for the past 30 days, there hasn't been much of a action for DOT. Yeah, definitely a good development, but not something that we can act on actively. Next up, we have Shida Network, which is the Plasm Network sister chain for KSM. And so Plasm closes another $10 million fundraise to bolster Polkadot ambitions. Very cool. Exciting stuff. Plasm is also one of the leaders, pretty much up there alongside Akala and maybe Moonbeam. These are some of the top projects in the Polkadot Kusama ecosystem. So another $10 million they raised. Good stuff. And they have launched a Shiden Builders program. This is probably a overall ecosystem grant for you to build dApps on the Shiden network, which is their Kusama parachain, right? And yeah, if you are a builder and you're a Rust developer and you've been wanting to build on a parachain instead of starting your own thing, this is an opportunity there. So good stuff. Parity builders for builders. What is this? Let's see. Kali Network DDMO. What is the DDMO stand for? Substrate Builders Program Update Builders for Builders. Launched a year and a half ago. This program identifies, supports, and mentors current and potential substrate related projects. Okay, another call for builders to provide tooling and some mentorship and trying to onboard them into the substrate, which is the framework for building dApps and even other chains in the Kusama Polkadot ecosystem. Actually, I'm not sure if it even you need to use substrate for dApps, but for sure, if you want to build on the chain level, then you will be using substrate. This is what makes them, natively interoperable as long as you have a slot. So yeah, right. Okay, there are 3 tracks here. Whether you're building chains, substrate-based blockchain to try to run as a parachain, or if you're building infrastructure or node provider UIs, bridges across, let's say from Polkadot to Ethereum or to other chains, then there's another track to facilitate you there. And then there's also the application track, which is building of dApps. So if you are building a DeFi app, you'll go for this track. So yeah, if you are a developer, this is another thing that you could take advantage of. So reach out to them. Also, we have Kylan Network DDMOs, the data catalyst for Kylan Network. Okay, framing the concept. Decentralized data markets. Trying to see what this is. This seems a little okay. DDMOs explained. DDM stands for the data market offering. This new vehicle will act as a resource multiplier for both Kylan and the holders of DDM. And Kylan Network will soon call for a proposal for the first DDMOs, which will be voted by the Kylan community. So they're basically launching a bunch of NFTs that will have what is this exactly? The data market. I don't seem to understand how this works. Let's say the first approved DDM proposal is tokenized genomics. DDM that will eventually see millions of research occur. Okay, so they're basically putting data on chain as NFTs. That's kind of, I guess, data sets that are valuable, right? And if you are a KYR or Kylan token holder, you can partake in its sale to buy fractions of the NFT associated. And right, so the fees for querying the data will go back to the token, I guess the NFT holders, right? Fractions of the NFT. Okay, so this kind of tokenizing data through blockchains. Can't say there's a big trend there, but this is one of the things that from the beginning they promised, which is not only an Oracle kind of network, but also this kind of data marketplace powered by blockchain. So good to see that they're moving forward with that. Yeah, and I have talked about Kalin before. It's I'm actually a very early investor in them. I know the CEO, Dylan Dudney. Yeah, hope to see how this actually plays out. And if these data NFTs, these DDM NFTs could be valuable for investment purposes, then I'll let you guys know. I will have to get back to you guys on that after I consult Mahi on exactly what the opportunity here is for these NFTs that are launching. Okay, so that's all the coverage I have for actually myself and Mahi has for Polkadot and Kusama, all of its parachain offerings this week. Next up, we have Luke or American Crypto Wits on the agenda to cover low cap and layer 2 discussion. And later on a bit of Bitcoin dominance as well. So Luke, what's up?
How's it going, guys? We have two big pieces of news this week in regards to low caps. First off, we have the Visor exploit, which an attacker was able to get access to admin functions. However, the attacker was only able to access $500,000. And the team has since repaid the exploited funds from their treasury. And the team are also adopting a multi-sig account. And the only reason why they have these admin functions is just before their just for a period before their platform actually becomes fully decentralized. So once the token is fully vested and it's decentralized enough, then they'll get rid of the admin functions.
Okay.
Other news this week is Alchemist. They had a bug in regards with their ETH, and what ended up happening is the ETH did not assign any debt to the loans. So what ended up happening is the loans were left with 2,700 ETH under collateralized. And the DAO is now asking for those who exploited this bug to repay back the loan, and in return they'll get an allocation of ALCX and an NFT with special DAO capabilities, which are still yet to be assigned.
Okay.
Some layer 2 news. If any of you guys were trying to make a swap or any transactions during the Titan downfall, then you would know that our Polygon was pretty bogged down over the weekend. And Quick Swap, to mitigate and alleviate that RPC, they released their own, which they just announced during this call. And I haven't looked into it too much, but I'll most likely be switching mine in the coming days, as it is a new RPC, and it'll probably be less used in the current Matic Vigil RPC.
Okay.
So that's just something to watch out for, and
Cool.
Probably make your swaps a lot quicker also.
Okay, good stuff. So I guess I'll make some brief comments. So Visor is it a Uniswap V3 liquidity manager thing, or was that? I think I've heard of Visor Finance before, but
so Visor Finance. I forgot exactly what they do.
Yeah, active liquidity management on V3. Okay, yeah. Cool, yeah.
Yeah, so they were only, the attackers were only able to access funds that were not currently in liquidity pools. They were currently
just kind of their treasury, right? Their own money, or some investor money instead of like the protocol money.
Yeah, and then the team has since repaid the investor money through their treasury fund.
Cool.
So
yeah.
But but they're still down. They were down 20% today, 22%, and 90% from all-time high. So they definitely felt it. And same thing with Alchemist. Alchemist's bug, I think, is a little bit is definitely bigger than Visor's bug.
Yeah.
As they're the damage report is still kind of out, but they're down 2,700 Ethereum.
Yeah.
So they're currently asking for
$4 million.
I'm sorry, was that?
$5 million, right? Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Yeah. So they're currently asking for it back, and they don't know how much they're going to get back in the end. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. But currently, I don't hold any Alchemist, and I just want to see how this goes before I pick any more up.
Yeah, as usual, I was very excited about these the ETH loans. Yeah, but you're gonna have to wait. Yeah, I think these are some good projects that you're bringing up. It's Visor. You know, I've been studying Uniswap v3 a little bit. Like the basically, you can provide liquidity, concentrated liquidity around certain price levels, and as long as you know the price trades within that level, you gain liquidity fees. And if you are good at predicting kind of price levels, then your yield is also very high. And there's a lot of there's Visor, which is, I think, they just kind of manage it for you. You put money in and they manage it for you and they give you returns. There's another project called Charm Finance, I think, that has a vault thing where you deposit money in, and then I think it works on the ETH USD pair to automatically rebalance the liquidity that you're providing on Uniswap v3. What I'm getting at is there's a lot of potentially high yield on Uniswap v3, but it's very difficult to get. It's only for the people that actually know what they're doing, and I haven't been able to figure it out. So yeah, still hunting for ways to do it. And Alchemix, I mean, the ETH loans is the idea in itself behind Alchemix is still very fascinating, because basically it's like risk-free loans. When you take out ETH loans, you put your ETH in, you get some ETH back, or maybe USD. I'm not sure, probably, right? You can put ETH in, get USD. Only ETH?
No, I think it's ETH. It's ETH. And
Okay.
then you put in Ethereum, and then you get ETH back.
Yeah. Okay. So you put Ethereum in, you get ETH back, and then doesn't matter if you ever pay back that loan or not. Basically, the loan will pay back itself through going through a Yearn vault. So it generates yield, and then say you have 100% APY, then after a year, you know, you can always withdraw that ETH back. This is good because it you might say, you know, oh, why don't I just put the money in Yearn myself? Well, the case with that is, if you put all of your money in Yearn, you don't have the ETH that you can use for short-term kind of gains, right? But if you want both of the liquidity for gains as well as all of the money through their Yearn vault, you have to split up, like, let's say 50% in the Yearn vault, 50% in trading. But then you don't have, you know, 100% of your gains earning money in Yearn vault. But with this, you can earn with a 400% collateralization ratio, you have technically all your portfolio, as long as it's in ETH, earning interest in Yearn, and then you can take out 25% against that you can trade anywhere else, right? So it's kind of leveraging without risk. Well, not necessarily, but not leverage trading, but taking out a bit of without risk of liquidation. So yeah, it's a really cool project, basically. And with this, for example, you have your ETH 100% locked per se until the yield finishes in Yearn, and then with your ETH, you can put that in Yearn as well, and then, you know, you have basically leveraged a bit of yield farming that actually has no risk. So very cool stuff. Hope they really pull through. This is a really good project that I have farmed quite a bit of LUSD before. So yeah. Anyways, also Polygon. I'm glad that they're spinning up their own node. We are. Yeah, I first dabbled with Polygon and QuickSwap over the past weekend. Their chain is cheap and like super cheap. It basically costs no money. And technically speaking, the transaction confirmation, like the finality, is really quick, like 10 seconds block time or whatever. But I'm basically in a queue at the node, right? So I send a transaction on Polygon, it just doesn't get anywhere until like 2 minutes later, and then it starts counting the 10 seconds. So really, it actually ended up being slower than Ethereum, and I was pretty shocked by this. BSC doesn't have this issue, so they definitely have this better nodes, I think, or better node provider, at least from my experience. So yeah, we'd love to see them work this out and make it better. Okay, thanks for the low cap layer 2 updates, Luke. We'll have you back in a bit for Bitcoin dominance analysis. But yeah, let's move into the next topic, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum technical analysis, led by our principal TA wizard, Wonka. Wonka, what's up? Show us the charts.
Hello guys. I guess welcome to the Bitcoin Bear, and I'll as usual send the charts in events content, and I'll explain what changed in my view, why I turned bearish today, and why I was bullish all this time. But before that, let's start as usual from top to bottom. This is the weekly scale. We had very strong bullish candle, which is being invalidated with very strong bearish candle, basically putting us back in the crap market, if you will. Therefore, it's not a good. Well, you already know it's not a good place to trade here. On weekly scale, this is the weekly RSI, and I think this might be the trend line touch, might be the bottom. This is very speculative. I'm still gonna go with my waves anyways, but this is what I'm watching on weekly RSI. It's starting from 2018 low and connecting 2020 March crash. Moving on to one weekly again, I want to touch the accumulation zone. To me, the accumulation zone of Bitcoin is every time we touch weekly 200 EMA. You can check the history, and every time we touch the weekly 200 EMA, that was the what's called golden spot to buy Bitcoin, the cheapest you can get. And so far, this golden region is around 14,000. Now let's touch the sensitive part, why I became bearish or why I was bullish. So far we've been following the triangle. Yeah, basically that's the most part. Yeah. So far we've been following the triangle, which was developing quite well, and I took some trades here and there, and we've advanced. And that was the time when bears pulled back. This is the daily scale. I was looking forward for in Elliott waves you have something like this, 5 waves, not in only Elliott waves but in nature you have 5 steps to progress and then 3 steps to regress. So basically with that formula you're advancing 5 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's the formula for advance. But the moment I saw that daily scale advanced in 3 waves, I've circled it. That just already told me that this is corrective advance, the ABC. And with one chart, I'll refresh your mind later. But this was the main reason for me to become bearish, that I saw 3-wave advance. Now the question here is that whether it is already B wave, because you can see from 65 to 30k low is the wave A only, okay? This might be already wave B top, and we are already might be in bear impulse, and I'm gonna show you later my strategy and everything, but this might be already bear impulse, or this might be only wave B of the B wave. I'm gonna send out the chart so you guys understand what I'm saying. This is basically the already bear impulse, so wave B peaked where the red C wave is, that's the wave B peak. Or the next one is that we are still developing the wave B. And how am I going to play this, right? From my standpoint of view, I think we can get to golden pocket. You can measure it with Fibonacci retracement, and I'll be shorting from golden region, and my stop loss will be above 41k. And why stop loss there? Well, that's because if we get to 41,000, that means that my view of wave B already topping out is incorrect. That's where I'm incorrect. And most likely, then most likely wave B is still in progress, which is gonna take us to 44,000, and I will reshort from there. But I'm still gonna take this trade here, this is for the Bitcoin. Actually, not really. I wanted to send out this chart. So I've sent these charts in alternate count.
Yeah.
And most likely, this chart is the one that won. Let's say like this. If you remember, the moment we touched the 30k, I told you guys that I'm gonna sell my spot back on ABC pullback if we get this. And well, we see the ABC pullback here. So yeah, I sold my spot back here, and I'm looking forward to Bitcoin to get to 19,000. So I'm kind of disappointed that this count won, because I was expecting more from Bitcoin and from the market, honestly. But there's one count that can save the bullish market, but I'm not confident in it. If I zoom in on 1 hour chart, I see clearly 5 waves, but daily is telling me otherwise. It's your personal choice with which time frame you want to go. To me, I'll be going with daily time frame that we topped out at 65,000, and this is already a bear impulse. With regards to Ethereum, I only have one chart on Ethereum, because even on last weekly call I told you guys that this is in some sort of triangle, and I think I identified it. It's in regular contracting triangle, and it is already on the way of the bear impulse. My target for Ethereum is 1,100. I'll start buying in there, and I know that 1,400 is the all-time high, and we're gonna get good support there. But if I see that we touch 1,400 with only 3 waves, I will know for sure that there is 5th wave coming as well. Because wave C always comes in 5 waves. Always. And that's it for me, guys. The summary is that we advanced in 3 waves, which is telling me that this is corrective advance. It's not bullish. So, and as I told you a couple weekly calls ago, if I see ABC impulse up, I'm gonna sell my spot back there. So that's what I did exactly today. Thanks for listening, guys.
Good stuff. I think this chart I'm showing, the 3-wave advance that you saw, that wasn't a 5. That kind of shows the beauty of a wave, is these typical patterns of wave counts, right, and wave structure. I think this is definitely something I'll keep in mind as well. So what you're saying is, if you see my screen right now, like it's, so you're saying, okay, so clearly this was A, right? And then whether we've completed B here, or we're yet to complete B, or actually I don't think, Yeah, you have a point. I think.
So the thing is that we're gonna get a rebound here. But if we take out 41,000, that means that wave B is still developing, and we're in.
Yeah.
A wave,
So what's
last wave of wave.
so what's typical wave B like? Is there something to count here, or can wave B kind of just continue for very long?
Yeah, if you have a lot of failure waves inside, for sure. But usually, wave Bs in a complex sell-offs,
Yeah.
they come in triangles. We have one right now.
Okay.
Wave B. So, but since the bear count won, wave B is just ABC. Like you always should look for ABC inside wave B. And you might have triangles here and there, zigzags, flats, whatever. But in wave B, you should always watch for ABC.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. That's not how I understood, but fine. I from my basic kind of few videos that I watch on Waves, right? I see you post a chart, the typical pattern here, like this. But actually, what I'll bring this up here. What I've been told is like the impulse waves are A and C, right, on the correction, and then the B is the corrected wave in the larger ABC, right? So the corrected wave is typically less clear, right, and the impulse waves are clear.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Actually, that's about as much as I know. So I don't know how useful that would be. Yeah.
Like everyone can catch impulses, just like higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah.
But the most difficult part is identifying the
Yeah, exactly. Like when is wave B over, right? Everyone can say this is a, this is A wave, right? It's impulse is clearly right when it breaks down. It's A wave starting. When is B wave finishing? Then that's I think the big question. Yeah, I think you have a point there. I don't think that would be the trade I take, but again, I think for your setup, it's fair. Because right, you have your stop loss right above these kind of previous point that we touched here, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Right, and then so if we get back above here, I think maybe 42K range, I think your setup is most likely invalidated. It means like kind of wave B is going to be a bit higher, right?
Yeah.
Finish up. If that is not the case, then you could either kind of take profit a little bit at the bottom of the range here, or in your more convinced trade, you're saying that this was the end of wave B and this we're starting to see here. That's also, I think you have a decent setup. I don't know, it's not the style I would take it. If I followed the same kind of analysis, I would either bet on wave B with a break here and say, okay, wave B is going to be a bit higher bounce. Or if this was indeed wave C, then I would wait for this to break and then kind of start betting there. But that's more of a preference. You are a bit more aggressive with your entries, and then but I think your levels are checking out, so that's good. Yeah.
So before entering any trade, I think where I am wrong. So in this case, I think B wave topped, and if I'm wrong, then we're gonna take out 41,000. And if we take out 41,000, then I better be out of the short.
Yeah. Good stuff. Iffy times, definitely. I think ETH, especially as well. Even right, the biggest bulls of likes of Wonka is already seeing kind of oh, Bitcoin is taking way longer than expected. Like I can and just expect like what kind of people are feeling when they're holding alts. So we'll see that a bit more in depth on Bitcoin dominance as well, and I'll give you guys a bit of what I see on ETH versus Bitcoin. But yeah, thanks for that, Wonka. Really appreciate your analysis.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. And Luke, are you still there? Oh.
Yes, I am.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, let's go through Bitcoin dominance just quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll show the chart and you can walk through. Just say when you're talking about weekly, and I'll show the weekly chart, and then the daily, etc. Yeah.
Okay. So on the weekly, the weekly still has 6 more hours to close, but this week's candle looks pretty indecisive, and it looks to be favoring the bears. The wick kind of shows some sell-off and some rejection, and yeah, ultimately when looking at the weekly, I foresee 2 possible scenarios. One where one would be the bullish scenario where Bitcoin dominance breaks through the orange trend line, and it breaks through the orange trend line, tests it again, and then goes up to 58k or 58% before rejecting again. And I think that's pretty. I think going to 58k is pretty definite, more or less. It just matters when we get this upswing and test back to.
Sorry, you mean 58%, right?
50%, yes.
Yeah.
Switching over from percent to thousand messes me up. Anyways, so yeah, I expect maybe a break above the orange trend line and a bullish break for Bitcoin dominance, which would be bearish for alts.
Yeah.
Or I'm predicting Bitcoin dominance to get pushed down by the orange trend line further, and possibly break below the weekly and monthly support. I don't think this one is as likely, but it is a possible scenario that I've seen some other people talk about, and I just wanted to highlight here also.
Okay.
So, this could happen, but currently I'm kind of just taking it day by day. And if we go to the daily chart,
Yep.
We see that there is, for the last few days, Bitcoin dominance has been forming a downward U-shape, slowly but surely anyways. And the shape still looks to be coming into fruition. Bitcoin dominance has taken, the last daily close has taken a, has rallied a little bit back up to the resistance. And today's candle looks like it's going to reject away from this resistance and possibly form new lows back to the my green support that I have labeled in the box.
Yeah.
Going to the 4 hour, we see the Adam and Eve formation that I've been detailing all week in the daily digest. That still looks to be going in play right now. But currently Bitcoin dominance is in a descending, broadening wedge, and this is a bullish formation, so if there's a break above this, above the top resistance line here, then I expect Bitcoin dominance to keep going with its reversal and test the orange trend line again.
Okay.
So ultimately my conclusion is with the market being mundane right now, I expect a short-term Bitcoin downtrend. But with any FUD or volatility, this could end pretty quickly. So I'm only trading. I only hold some strong alts right now, which is mainly just Quick. Quick is really undervalued in my opinion, and Polygon is still getting more people by the day. So that's the only position I have right now. I think I don't even have any Bitcoin positions. So
Okay.
Anyways, I'll talk about more of that in Low Cap Lounge if anyone's interested, and save everybody's time here.
Yeah. I think you have some solid points there. I would say, yeah, the clear trend line is there. So it was here, right? 3 kind of previous times tested as support. We broke here, and then now we're potentially testing this. So then question is when we get up here, do we break above? And then in this case, we short outs onto this retest, or do we get rejected from it? In this case, alt season kind of restarts again. I don't know the chances, right? Actually, so if this is the trend line that you're watching, I would just kind of wait until we actually get it around here. Then you wait for at least like maybe 2 weeks of candle close, whether that's above or below, then it'll be much clearer. Now, for me personally, what I'm looking at, actually, this trend line is definitely very good. Something to watch. But what I'm looking at right now is this bottom pattern with a higher low. So first low here, higher low here, and this now is clearly a higher low. And we have this wick, so technically, yeah, this blue now resistance line, right? If you map it on the daily chart, you could kind of fit it to as low as even the current prices, but essentially, I usually tend to like these kind of top or bottoming patterns of double bottom, double top with a higher low or lower high. I take it with a lot of conviction. So I would say, you know, this is likely to do that, more likely than this. But still, you know, if you really want a kind of high probability trade, wait for a break of this level, right? Once we get above this trend line, everything is going to be much clearer because that's a long-term support broken. So, you know, clearly new uptrend paired with the first kind of higher low there. So why does this keep zooming out? So as long as, you know, we continue to hold above this previous low, it's going to be just kind of higher lows and higher lows. So key level to look at is around 41.5, 42% range. As long as we hold above here, it's pretty much looking like a uptrend right now, which is really bad for altcoins. And this also is further reflected, and also I think the 58% is a very decent level to watch. I would say there's also around 49, which is the neckline here from late December to July 2018. This neckline resistance there is also a potential level to watch, as well as the couple lows here that we formed around 53%. So yeah, just some interesting levels that we could see some slowing down if Bitcoin dominance is kind of in a macro reversal. Now, this is kind of further reflected on ETH Bitcoin, which is looking honestly quite bad right now. So let me just clear the charts and show you guys everything I'm looking at. So first off, on the daily, there is the horizontal resistance right around here, which was this top of this consolidation here, and this peak there in May 2018. And then you see we, on this recent rally, we rallied to this level and got kind of rejected there. So that has some merit to it. Now, if we look at log chart, gives us a bit of a trend line here, and just drawing it out, this was really good to follow. So there's also a kind of a bottom there. So essentially on this recent rally for ETH versus Bitcoin, basically ETH outperforming Bitcoin, you know, we have rallied above this key resistance there, and now it has on the first retest here, it turned into support. However, I don't think this is likely to hold, because if you just zoom in a little bit, this again is a double top pattern, right? With a first high and then a lower high. So typically this is a reversal, and on the daily chart, right? Yeah, it's not good. So the last nail in the coffin that will make this a very high probability that ETH is going to go down against Bitcoin, not necessarily drop in dollar value, but underperform Bitcoin, is with a break below this trendline support there, which coincidentally is also the neckline here. So we broke above here, we had the first retest, and then third retest here. So I would say if you are, I'm taking the kind of relatively aggressive entry here. I posted a video about this already, that I am converting my ETH into Bitcoin. A reason for that is exactly this, right? I think ETH will underperform Bitcoin for until this move reverses. Probably a month or two for the next. Now, a more conservative approach is to wait for just a couple more percent until it clearly breaks below this trendline support there. Now, if this indeed plays out and continues to the downside, the couple levels that I'm watching for ETH versus Bitcoin, I also showed this in my latest TikTok video, is right around that resistance support there and there as well. And there's also kind of these right around there, which is this low around this consolidation, this top there. But I think that's a little bit too low to expect. But regardless, if we break this trend line, I think very likely we move towards 0.036 to 0.043 range, something within here, which if we take an average price range from, let's say, breakdown, so that's about a 30% ETH drop against Bitcoin. So that's why I have converted most of my Ethereum into Bitcoin just yesterday and today. Now, this doesn't mean, right? People will say, "Oh, you're so bearish on ETH. Like how? Like the 2,000 level is holding, and then the 21 weekly is holding. ETH is going to move up, right?" We're talking about its comparison with Bitcoin, right? We're not talking about its dollar value, because I agree, right? Dollar wise, right? ETH is still kind of sitting at the 21 weekly EMA, which is showing that it held up dollar wise stronger than Bitcoin in this recent drop. So as long as it holds, I think the $2,000 range, which is this consolidation there, and the 21 weekly EMA, so that's around 2150 range. So the 2000 to 2150 range, as long as it holds there, I think dollar wise, ETH, it's still okay, right? But when it underperforms Bitcoin, what could happen is something like, for example, on the ETH BTC chart we just looked at, if a breakdown actually happens, like what I'm predicting, then it means ETH versus Bitcoin valuation is going to drop by like 20 to 30%. What does that mean? It means if basically if Bitcoin pumps 30% from current level, from 35K with a 30%, actually that's not even much, right? 30% from 35K is only up to 45K, right? So putting that into perspective, that's not shocking. I'm not saying that ETH will right away drop 30% in dollar value, right? I think that's quite unlikely for ETH to drop to 1,500. What I'm saying is ETH versus Bitcoin is, let's say Bitcoin pumps very quickly from 35 to 45K, while ETH just kind of stays still at 2,200 range. That would mean a 30% drop in ETH versus Bitcoin. right? People will say, hey, look, you're wrong, like ETH didn't drop. No, but you underperformed Bitcoin. You underperformed like the safest asset in all of crypto. So why, being in ETH versus Bitcoin, that wasn't the smart move, right? The move, if indeed this happens, where Bitcoin pumps and ETH stay still, the smarter move is to be in Bitcoin. Even if you were bullish on ETH dollar value, right? You could catch the Bitcoin pump, if there is one, and then switch your profits into ETH. So then you gain a 30% even without ETH dropping. So that's the kind of move that we could see. Or another case would be kind of ETH or Bitcoin pumping, 45%, and then ETH pumping 30%, right? Is it 30 or 15? I'm not sure if my math is correct. Basically, it's Bitcoin going up 1.3 times as much as ETH. So let's say ETH goes up, ETH dollar value could still go up, right? If ETH goes up 30%, then Bitcoin going up 69% to 59K, that's still a ETH versus Bitcoin 30% drop, right? Where ETH goes up to 2.8K, Bitcoin goes up to 59K. Was it a smart decision that you were in ETH? No. People will come back to this and say, oh, it looked like ETH wasn't bearish. I'm not saying ETH will drop in dollar value. I'm just saying, the smarter move right now is clearly, for me personally, is to be in Bitcoin. Because if both assets are going to hold still, I think Bitcoin is holding stronger. If both assets are going to pump, then I think Bitcoin will go up faster. That's basically it. And that's a short to medium term at most. Eventually, right, with this move, as long as Bitcoin recovers, ETH will catch up. And people will say like, oh yeah, ETH always follows Bitcoin. It will come back. Of course it will. Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's if you must hodl ETH, then go ahead. But I'm trying to make the best play here with the knowledge I have, which is the ETH BTC, double top here, right? With this double top on the daily chart. So I'm expecting ETH to drop against Bitcoin, and also, Bitcoin dominance showing a very similar double bottom here, right? So altcoins in general are looking like they're potentially dropping more against Bitcoin. So not saying any altcoin specifically would dump 30% in dollar value, but if they underperform Bitcoin, you're better off in Bitcoin. If you can't even understand that, then like, what are you doing? Your only other option is to hodl forever, because that's the most basic, most high level basic analysis that you need to understand when we are in alt season, when we are not. When is it more profitable to be in Bitcoin, and when is it more profitable to be in altcoins? Understand this, and everything else around trading will be much easier. This beats out any kind of fundamental analysis. Oh, this is so much stronger, this is so much weaker. Like, how could you say this is bad, this is good? That's all fluff, right? This is market trends, right? Swapping in and out of Bitcoin versus altcoins. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents, and the most important things I'm watching right now. That's why most of my positions now are Bitcoin, and also 2 other like very, very long-term like investment gems, not trading gems, that I have shared many times in the Discord already. And they are ArcX and RMRK. You can dig into the Discord and find my analysis like since forever ago on these 2 coins. But yeah, aside from like some very high conviction plays that I think are just so undervalued that I'm holding regardless of what, yeah, for secondary market or coins that are already trading and have high liquidity and closely follow the money cycle in crypto and Bitcoin dominance, I'm not holding any. So yeah, that's kind of my summary right now. Okay, let's go into some Q&As, and I'll go through Discord first. Let's do it. And I'll pull up the questions here on Events Chat. Okay, let's see. Wonka, you have more info on this impulse wave theory. What is actual name of this theory again? Yeah, it's just called LA waves. Studying LA waves. Couldn't you also argue double top in the same chart? Shouldn't you wait for the results of the third retest? I don't know what you're. Oh, you mean here, right? No, double top is a reversal pattern, right? So this previous trend was down. You cannot have a double top on a downtrend. This just doesn't work, right? Yeah, there's yes, you could say that's why I say the highest conviction play here is to wait for a breakout above this trend line. Yes, but you don't argue for a double top, right? You don't argue for, oh, this could be a double top before it actually happens. Double top is the pattern actually only forms when there's clearly two a double top or double bottom, right? When there's clearly two these kind of Adam and Eve, cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, based on sides, that actually are on the charts already. And if you follow the same theory, you can always argue for a double top, always, anywhere, right? As long as it stops a little bit, you say, oh yeah, if we drop, like, if we make what is that, 12% drop, now we form a double top. But yeah, then if this forms, then that's another question, right? Then you say, okay, this is something there. True, but that's why we need to break this level first. So if we get down here and break this, now this kind of double top pattern is looking more convincing than this previous double bottom, because we have broken the previous higher low that we made, right? Before this actually happens, you can't just say, oh yeah, this could potentially happen if we see another 12% drop, but then this is what's going to happen. No, that's not a valid argument, right? So the pattern needs to be there first before you make a judgment. Same thing as kind of like last week. Before this move was there, right? And then it was just kind of it coming down, it make a first low, and then it comes back down here, right? This was still consolidation. There was no clear up or down. This is exactly the analysis that myself and Luke had last week. We weren't saying, oh, like if this is going to bounce and form a double bottom. No, because it could certainly keep going down, but it didn't. And then when it actually forms this, that's a double bottom. So yes, if this drops back down to below this level around 41.5 range, all of a sudden my pattern will be invalidated. But until then, this is the actual pattern that's already shown itself. This one hasn't yet. So yeah. Oh yeah, and you can check all my stuff I'm taking in Bacon's Gems channel in Discord. Augur0 asks, with talks about inflation and USD losing value, stimulus check being printed, countries adopting BTC and others banning it, other news-driven events, how would that affect the crypto market in general, BTC.D versus alts? I would say the first 4 sentences of that question is irrelevant. Not saying there's no effects that they have, but there's no quantifiable way that we can take advantage of it. It doesn't matter what I say. I will be talking out of my ass. Whatever I say, whatever my opinion is, I do not treat it. I treat it with 0% credibility or weight in my own analysis. I never look at any news and trade on it. Never. I have never made money this way. I've never traded profitably or prevented losing money this way. It's always charts for me. Simply because for a market so big, like inflations, we're talking about rates, money printing, Bitcoin being a inflation hedge. I don't understand it, and it's way too complex to put in quantifiable, actionable terms. So, yeah, it has effects. You can say what is positive, what is negative. Yeah, like countries adopting BTC, positive. Countries banning BTC, negative. USD losing value, positive for Bitcoin. Inflation, positive for Bitcoin. But how much, which each news is positive, how much is negative? Completely opinion. All right, there's no data there that we can use. So I just treat it as news, entertainment. Good to follow, good to know, conversation starters. But when it comes to actually what's happening, I look at charts. So yeah. What books do you recommend on learning technical analysis? I recall you recommending one of your videos. Yeah, it's the one book I think is pretty good is Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John Murphy. Analysis of the Financial Markets by John Murphy. This is a very almost textbook-like, but not boring. It's much smaller and shorter than textbook, but it's just teaching you all the tools with examples. Cool. Okay, let's jump into some YouTube questions. I see people showing hacks already. Yeah, just fuck off. Okay. Do ETH BTC anal, I see potential reversals and in the case of Satoshi not going 59, 58k. What is that? BTC dominance reverse. I don't even understand what you typed, Marco. I'm sorry. Okay. Cool. Yeah, hex show. Great. The bottom is normal as panic selling from alts was normal into BTC pair last 3 or 4 weeks. When we go confirmed up, alts pump as they do teach. Each time BTC goes sideways, up, not pumping. Yeah, exactly. 100% agree. We will go up slowly if we go up as we can't do massive volumes, or is there a low probability B20 going to zero, so worth buying? It's not going to zero, but NFTs are certainly not hot right now. Okay, so what Marco said is very interesting on YouTube. Yes, I 100% agree, right? Let me just bring up the same 2 charts, ETH USD and Bitcoin USD. Right, so this is ETH USD, Bitcoin USD. 100% agree, right? As long as we confirm a new uptrend on Bitcoin, on the right here, right? When we confirm a new uptrend with a break above 42k, that's going to show some first signs of market confidence again. And then break above, especially around 50, is going to be very powerful. Now, when this happens, ETH will see uptick. So will most other altcoins. Definitely, 100% agree. But it's going to be delayed. That's exactly what this is until Bitcoin can break these key levels of 42k and 50k, confidence in ETH are not going to come back earlier than Bitcoin. It's only going to be later. It's only going to lag behind, which means until the full kind of Bitcoin new uptrend is confirmed again, ETH uptrend is not going to start earlier than Bitcoin. It's going to be much later. So that means there will be a period where Bitcoin is outperforming ETH, or in other words, ETH BTC is dropping. So we agree on the same points. And this is the main thing that I wanted to cover is I see comments like this all the time. I'm not saying particularly you, but people think like, oh, like Bitcoin will go up, ETH will follow, like why would you sell ETH now? I'm not saying I'm selling ETH for Tether. That's not the case. I'm selling ETH for a better performing asset in the short term, right? You can say I'm buying Bitcoin, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like if you just treat any sort of going from ETH into Bitcoin as kind of, oh, you're losing, you're not confident in this, you're gonna lose because eventually ETH will come back, then you'll never get the idea of Bitcoin dominance. But that's basically it, right? During this period where ETH might be going sideways, when Bitcoin kind of rallies to break the first kind of key levels at 42K, this is a period where there's opportunity to be in Bitcoin, catch the bit of early profits, and then when ETH actually starts running again, as markets clearly confirm a new uptrend, then you can move back into ETH and get more ETH. That's it. That's what trading is. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna hold in ETH forever as long as it's gonna go up. Yes, I still firmly believe ETH is gonna be 10K, 20K very, very soon, within the next year, probably by the end of this year, right? As long as this new uptrend can start by like maybe September. But that doesn't mean I don't make short-term moves, right? If I can catch the Bitcoin move and then get a bit more ETH later on, why would I not do that? You know, so and if all you're doing, if all you're willing to do and all you can understand is hodl ETH and hodl Bitcoin and hodl every coin you have forever, then why do you even watch me? Like it's that's not what I cover. I could just keep telling you ETH go up 10K every day. If you prefer content like that, that's super just kind of blind opium, then yeah, of course, those have super high engagement. I can be like every other influencer and just say ETH 10K, ETH 10K, and then you'll feel confident, you just continue holding and miss out on opportunities. Of course, BTC growth. Passive income is such a dumb idea. It's BTC growth is passive income, and I earn passive income on my BTC way more than any sort of other investment, real estate, any other asset class. People will get mad at that, but it's just the truth. Do you think we need to do a 5x this round? What about ADA? Yeah, certainly. No worries at all. As long as this wasn't the top, no worries at all. Last week where 3 showed each time BTC stabilizes, alts do recover very fast and it's not much delayed as it used to be 2017, 2020, but I agree totally with you with that chart. With that, what the charts show. Yeah, exactly. Like I think once we get into a more confident range for Bitcoin, 42 to 50K consolidation, I think ETH will have its first leg up. And then when we break above new all-time high and then see another consolidation, ETH will see another leg up. That's just been the case. It's typically how ETH reacts to Bitcoin. Okay, we're almost at an hour and 30, so we are. Let's try to cut it short soon. So I'm gonna go through questions on, I guess, Discord currently, and then the BaconDAO YouTube. How to get well-listed for IDO. Check out our DAO Maker research page and stay tuned for following. It's not announced yet, but it's coming soon. Okay. Read BTC.D. I fear not enough traders are savvy enough to make those short-term moves. No. Well, if you are not savvy enough to even act on Bitcoin BTC.D, then you are not a trader. It's just BTC.D is not a short-term thing. It's a very, very long-term thing. It's what were the few actionable trades that you could have taken on BTC.D? How often do they happen? Right? There was this top here, followed by kind of a breakdown of this level. So break of 58K in April 2019 range, 2020. No, sorry, this year. We had about 7-8 weeks of alt season. This was a actionable point there where you just long any altcoin, you will win. The same thing here in August 2020, right? You had a bit of a bounce from this key kind of bottom of the consolidation there. So if you pivot it into Bitcoin here, as the market saw the DeFi summer ending, the correction, you would have saved some money there. That was an actionable item. So between here and here, that's a 8-month period, right? And then the last time Bitcoin dominance kind of reverted was then up here, which was August 2019. So that's a whole year of basically bullish on altcoins where you should have been in altcoins. So this doesn't happen that often. Like this period was a year. This was about 8 months. This is about 3 months, right? It's not a short-term trade. It's a very long-term. Should you be in Bitcoin? Should you be in altcoin? The only kind of longer-term kind of trade that you need to watch is: are we still in a bull market? Are we still in a bear market? Or are we in a bear market? So yeah, if you can't even understand, grasp very clearly, are we in an alt season? I should be in altcoin. Or are we kind of Bitcoin sucking up the volume again? We should be in Bitcoin. Then I don't know what you're trading. It's like saying, oh, I'm in crypto, but I'm not sure if we're in a bull market or bear market right now. Then what are you doing even? Like, what's driving your decisions, right? So yeah, this is not a short-term thing. It's a very, very long-term. We're looking at the daily chart printing a double bottom, right? That has been, forming for the past 2 months. So yeah, it's not a short-term. Everyone needs to understand this. If you don't, like, you're going to have a very hard time. Question about your opinion: are we in a bear market in the sense that it will last years now, or do you think we'll have a new all-time high before entering the real bear? I don't think we are in a bear right now. I think if I were to really classify it, we're kind of in a sideways. We are not in a bull, but in my book, based on like how I'm going to act, I'd say as long as we're between 31 and 42K, I'm just 50-50. So it's I see no trade up or down for Bitcoin. Once we break about 42, I think chances are, we see a larger bounce to at least 50. So then I'm a bit more bullish. I would say like short-term bullish. We break it below 31, then clearly we're in a bear market. Right now, nothing there. There will be periods where it's just so unsure. Same kind of right here. During this consolidation there, nobody was sure what was really happening, right? Same as this here, right? Was that a clear bull market correction, or was it the end? Nobody knew. This period as well, right? Very unsure. So these kind of periods, it's not a good idea to say with a strong condition, oh, we are already in a bull market. We're still in a bull market, 1 million like next year, or we're going to zero bear market. Wait till it actually gets confirmed. 66% BTC, 25% ETH. Do swing trades BTC ETH. Marco says, yeah, it's a good hold right now. Okay, let me check out the BaconDAO YouTube to see if there are some questions there. Otherwise, that's about it for the stream today. And Discord gang, if you guys have any other questions, let us know as well. Why is my, oh wow, my face is like super blown out. I must have, what? That's crazy. Okay. It's probably better. Checking questions. Yeah, there's no questions here. Cool. Okay. Let's end it in like 5 minutes or so, just for some last minute questions for any other contributors as well. Crab market, yeah, basically crab market, sideways chop, conserve your capital. As I've been saying for the past 6 weeks now, I think 5-6 weeks, conserve your capital, wait till something actually happens. Don't lose the money, right? Not saving your money during this time for when the actual move starts is your actual alpha. How's the Bacon educational course progressing? It's progressing really well. Lions knows way better than I do for this, but it's all the stuff that you think we have researched and could be very useful, and we see ourselves benefiting a lot from learning from these courses, we will have. It's progressing really well. It's actually progressing even better than how our launchpad and the token is doing. So yeah, it's more than ready to be presented to you guys. It's stay tuned for that. Any other questions? I see Lions typing already. Drop it in the events chat, or maybe even general. I'll check general. If there's anything there. Okay, just kind of basic stuff. Should I buy, should I sell, kind of stuff. Yeah, in general, I saw a question about ADA. There's no... I see that like you want a price prediction for ADA. Now is not the time to have bull hopium. ADA can go as high as you want it to go when we are actually in the out season again. When Bitcoin reclaims all-time high, and Bitcoin dominance starts trending down, you can. It's good to have conviction then and say like ADA is gonna go to $1,000 or $1 million. Tell that to yourself so you can hold on. That's nothing wrong with that when there's an actual alt season. But right now, I'm not going to give any predictions just because hopium is not a good idea in specific altcoins, and saying that, oh, this altcoin is so good that it's going to be the unicorn that just ignores overall market. That's simply not the case. So wait till alt season actually happens, wait till Bitcoin becomes bullish and uptrending again, then we'll talk altcoin, like very specific hopium. I'll gladly throw hopium your way so we can hold on when it's actually profitable. Should I be looking to convert to USDT the next time there is a rise up to hold out until breakout happens? Actually, there's a recent thing I've learned by a podcast called Up Only, hosted by Crypto Cobain and Ledger Status. They interviewed Kyle Davies from 3 Arrows, and he's one of the top kind of investors in this space. And he kind of articulated this idea of always having exposure to at least Bitcoin and denominating in Bitcoin as being not necessarily like a kind of just a maximalist, hopium, idealist type of narrative, but nowadays denominating in Bitcoin gives you the perspective that if you just see always your portfolio like did it go up in Bitcoin terms, then that tells you that puts you in the mindset that whatever altcoin I'm holding, whatever trades I'm making, it needs to outperform Bitcoin, which is common sense, right? Everything else is more risky than Bitcoin, so yes, that should be your goal. That's why like denominating Bitcoin is not necessarily a bad thing, and even hodling in times of crisis in Bitcoin is not necessarily a bad thing. Historically speaking, it's good, as long as you can withstand like even Bitcoin bear markets. As long as you're long-term enough, you're fine. As long as you're not dependent on that money like going up to pay rent. As long as you have enough USD kind of set aside, denominating Bitcoin is not a bad thing. And I'm starting to slowly kind of grasp at that idea a lot better. Because periods of Bitcoin dominance where you see like BTC.D, right? Bitcoin dominance going up and down, uptrending, downtrending, out season versus Bitcoin sucking in volume. It only stops at a Bitcoin level. This chart tells you nothing about how any altcoin will perform in dollar value. It doesn't. It only tells you their comparison to Bitcoin. So when we say alt season, technically it's alt outperforming Bitcoin. It's not necessarily alt going up in dollar value, right? So that also puts you in the mindset that if I denominate in Bitcoin and I just shift, I'm not investing too much. I can afford to lose. And sometimes if I'm really risk averse, if market is really shaky, I'm mostly in Bitcoin. If we're in alt season again, then I shift into altcoins, but then I always denominate and take profits back into Bitcoin instead of fiat. Historically speaking, this has been more profitable. Obviously, you still have drawdowns in major bear markets, but you end up losing. You end up never missing out on the gains had you always just tether up 100%. If instead of tethering up 100% every time, you Bitcoined up 100% every time, over time, let's say you go through one full bull market, one full bear market, you actually beat out the person that always tethered up every time, even in the bull market, right? So as long as overall there has been an uptrend, it makes more sense to Bitcoin up when you are taking profits instead of tethering up. When things actually hit the fan so hard, it probably makes sense to tether up more. But then, if that's the case, why are you even trading? Right? It's a period where you shouldn't be trading. So, okay, that's it. So denominating in Bitcoin is not a bad thing, and I'm starting to do that a lot more. What's your short-term opinion on BTC in coming week? Literally nothing. I have nothing here. I'm not taking any action. I don't see any up-down thing that I'm convinced with. It's just 31K, 42K, watching it. As long as it doesn't break either of those, I'm not taking any action. Yep. Basically it. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope this has been educational and useful as usual. We try to make it to. And stay tuned for more live streams and I'm trying to think what else. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. BaconDAO, if you participate in the Genesis Shards pre-IDO, the NFTs will be out quite soon in the next few days, I think. Follow in the Genesis Shards announcements chat, but we will also share the announcements in our Telegram and Discord. Aside from that, everything is on track for us. Appreciate the community as always. That's our core value here. If you guys have any more questions, drop them in the specific chats for whether it's TA or trading analysis chats or gem chats. Thanks again. Please keep participating in our community, and let's all together make the best of it. Bye, guys.